Hello and welcome to my first day of 31 Days of Halloween. So to start off, I blocked out my eyebrows. There's about 10 million tutorials on YouTube. I'm sure you can find one. And then I started marking out where the Cheshire Cat's face was gonna go. And I wasn't sure if I was gonna do like the whole chest area thing. I wound up doing mostly just the face. How you do that is completely up to you. And then I also left a space where the eyes and his nose were gonna be, and his mouth. Can't have a Cheshire Cat without a big evil grin. That didn't make any sense, but whatever. And then I also went ahead and went back and made sure that his little ears had that pointy thing, and then the bones on his spine slash neck were sticking out, and then I made his nose really pink. And this is gonna look really weird for a while because I'm just doing the major colors and not doing any blending work or anything, so it's gonna look bad. That's a good word for it. But give me a little bit. And then I mixed a little bit of yellow and white body paint, and I started filling in the teeth spaces. I used a rounded off brush because that gives me kind of the chiclet gum effect, which is really good for making teeth. And then once I made sure that was all nice and perfect-ish, I filled in his gums with a mix of red and light pink, which sounds weird, but he has irritated gums. Apparently he doesn't brush his teeth very often. And this also helped to really define how his mouth was going to look. And then once I had that, I started outlining all of his teeth and his actual smile. Now for this, I would kind of take your time because you don't only want to outline the teeth, but you also want to make sure that you leave spaces for those gaps in between the teeth. It makes it look a little bit more realistic. And then I applied some eyeshadow primer on my lids because I didn't want it to crease. And I started drawing in his eyes. He has very, very slanted eyes, so I kind of tried to draw that over my eyelids. You could put in contacts, but what fun is that? And then I also used the yellow and painted on my eyelashes to kind of try to make them go away. Didn't work out too well, but hey. And then I started drawing in some more detailed stuff, like his actual markings on his eye, the one on his forehead. And I also defined the eye a little bit more. And I did all of the wrinkly marks and tribal tattoo things that he has on the side of his face. Start filling that in. And then I jacked up a fan brush so I can make little wispy line things to kind of make it look like fur, but then it wound up being a little bit too light, I guess. It was a little bit too light, so I went in with some black eyeshadow to not only add a little bit of definition and dimension, mostly shadows, but it also made the fur on the cheek stand out a little bit too much. So I eventually went over just very lightly on the actual cheek just to try to dull it down a little bit. And then I went around the sides of my face. Then for the teeth, just to give a little more shadowing and make it look a little more 3D, I applied a little bit of brown eyeshadow around each one of the teeth. I kind of did it where the light source was coming from the front. That helped me, so yeah. And then for the rest of the eye, he did have like orangey-ness on the inner and outer corner, and the actual pupil was orange with then like evil kitty eyes. And like I said, you can just apply some contacts, but that's not as fun. This is more fun. Then he had some blood spatter in some pictures, and others he didn't. I was looking at one from Madness Returns, so I applied those. And he did have some cavities because, like I said, kitty, no brushy, his teeth. And then I applied more blood, yay! Well, red body paint, but hey. And then just to apply a little more dimension around the actual gums, applied a little bit of black body paint. Hoo-yah! And then blended it out. And then I did the same like stripy hair thing on the neck. It didn't work out as well as I wanted it to because it kind of disappeared, but it still kind of shows up. And then for anything that wasn't going to be a part of this look, namely the rest of my skin, I just applied some black body. I hope you guys liked this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!